This is QuickFixGolf.com on our regular online golf class, of which tonight's topic is the downswing. Who's first, the hips or the arms? Or is it the legs? Should have added that in there. There's Darren. He's down in Myrtle Beach. In fact, I wanted to go down to Myrtle Beach Sunday. Found out I can't do it. They got the heck do they call it? An ordinance of some kind. They don't want anybody going down there. Even if you own property, you can't head down. They don't want anybody bringing it from up north. I guess a lot of that. I always call Myrtle Beach, New Jersey light. A lot of people from New Jersey there, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know. There's our website, QuickFixGolf.com. Get a free analysis of your swing. Just get your cell phone out and video your swing and upload it right on our site. What you feel may not be real. Here's one of the problems with trying to decide, is it the arms first? Is it the hips first? Is it the knee first? The real answer is Luke used the force. We're trying to get a kick out of that one. You play golf with your eyes, you play golf with your fingertips, you play golf. And what starts downswing? Arms, hips, or legs? The answer is it depends. They're not the kind that you wear, John. No, it depends, because bottom line is you're trying to get the club face back to square. And different people, there's a real problem, is by just taking, you open up a golf magazine and there's a tip that says you got to start your downswing by transferring your weight to your left foot. Well, that might be the worst idea going for the wrong person. It might be helpful to somebody who spins out on their back foot. The golf swing starts down with your hips first. That might be poison for one person. It might be golden for another. So bottom line is you're trying to get all these gears to match up. And, just like John would say, John's an engineer, angular acceleration, from an angular acceleration standpoint, meaning you're doing a circle, and here's one circle, and there's another circle, and there's a bigger circle, and I drew on this darn thing, I'm not going to be able to erase it. The bigger circle is, in order to stay even with the inner circle, has to travel at a faster rate of speed. And that's sort of what a golf swing is. The golf swing, as far as I'm concerned, is more like a discus throw. It's just like throwing a discus. And I think you hurl a golf club, you don't really swing it. I know they call it a golf swing, but I would rather refer to it as a hurl. Just like you're hurling a discus to throw it as far as you can. Or you see one of those Scottish things where they have the big hammer on the end of it and a chain, and they're spinning it around and then they throw it. That's what you do with a golf club, except you do it in place. Why? Because accuracy is an issue. With the discus throw, anything as far as it can go, as long as it's within the, sort of like a baseball diamond, you're happy. We got to hit it in section H, row 5, seat 3, and land it in the guy's beer cup. So there's a difference. So you're trying to stay more still as you do it. I don't think there was any more. There's no more after that. So we want to go right to some videos now. And I'll show you what I mean. If we look at my list at the driving range, what an idiot. What else is new? Let's go to, I know who I wanted first, Rieger. Now, John Rieger is one of the longest hitters on the senior tour. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this off of here. It's going to drive me crazy. Oh, I know. No, that didn't fix it. Oh, wait a minute. I know why, because I'm using... It's gone. Okay, now. Here's John Rieger. And you got to say to yourself, okay, what's going first here? Is it his hips? Is it his arms? Or is it his legs? He goes to the top, excellent backswing. Now watch. Right there, I think he's in trouble. right there. The hips are ahead of the arms. But he clears his hips so beautifully right there that he makes up for it at the last second. And they sort of get caught up with each other. See, he's a little bit behind. But watch his right knee. In fact, watch it from the downline view. Watch his right knee. Come on. He's pulling down on the rope, but notice he's perfectly on plane. Look at that. How do you do that any better? Boom. See? But he probably feels like a right knee kind of guy. I don't know. We don't have him on speed dial. But I remember when I was a kid, the pro used to tell me, Vince Allen, that there was a string tied to my right knee, and that string was also tied to my wrist. I probably should draw that up here. The string was tied to my wrist, and then I pulled down with the hands and arms, and the knee, this knee and this wrist were connected, and the knee and the wrist. And John sort of reminds me of that move. See, right knee, pull down with the arms. Somehow he found a way to time that. Was right there, he's in trouble. That arm right now should already be here and here. And another thing, we never know when some of these videos, when the guys are swinging their best or not. They just, you got the video, and that was it. All right. So for him, he may describe the downswing completely different. If we look at our old favorite Crenshaw, it looks to me like he's pulling down with the butt of the club. And there's a lot of guys that describe it that way. But you see his hip pulls up and away. But he's not working the hips very hard. And notice his knees are not working very hard at all. In fact, if you look at Immelman, he has no knees at all. And here's the weird part. He might, as you look at him here in the video, you might say, well, he's all arms, nothing but arms. He might be here right now, and we ask him, well, what does it feel like to you? And he says, I feel like I'm turning my hips. That's what you feel may not be real. To him, it may feel like he's turning his hips, but in reality, when you look at it on video, he's really swinging the arms. And then if you tell them, well, swing your arms faster, they get so far ahead of the hips that now the whole thing's out of whack. Because bottom line is you're trying to make these gears match. Here's one gear. Here's another gear. And you're trying to get them to turn and match. Who are the two gears? The body and the arms. The body and the arms, which is why if you go out on a golf course and after the first 4 holes, the wheels have come off the wagon and you go, I've never played this bad in my life. You want to shut the body down and just swing all arms. But get one of the 2 gears to stop because they're not meshing. They're not working together. See? But here he looks like all arms. But who knows? He might think he's using his body. Same thing with Maldonado. You're probably going to see him look Maldonado. What you said a guy said in his video that was named Maldonado. Maldonado. See? Look at it. He's not using his knees or his hips at all. Look, his hips are literally stopped. But he's learned to time it that way. So it'd be very, very dangerous to try and tell this guy, well, you got to move your hips a lot more. Say, well, then what about his arms? His arms have sort of learned to run at a certain speed. See, look at his hips just die on him. They just die on him. Look at him. No more hips at all. And how many times have you probably read in a magazine? You got to clear your hips. You got to turn your hips. You didn't turn his hips that much. Not at all. Now you look at McElroy. He is right here. Boom. See? From the inside. Let's look at him from the front. Of course, this is an old picture. It's when he was a kid. Well, here, we got one of them with his driver. Where'd he go? There it is. You got to tell me, is it his knees? Is it his hips? See, you see his hip pulls up and away. See how his belt is at this height. And by the time he hits it, see, look at that belt go up. And his legs sort of lock up. See, the knees lock up. So each person is going to feel different. So then what's for you that's listening in, you say, well, what good does this do me? Say, well, you sort of have to get it on video, look at it, and then here's what actually happens when you're doing a lesson, at least, and I've done a few, and sometimes I'll tell somebody, okay, let's clear the hip better. Made it worse. Said, okay, let's stop that medication. That medication gave you a rash. So let's try, I want you to try driving your right knee and make sure your right knee is hooked to your wrist, just like I was telling you a minute ago, and try that. One of those keys somewhere are going to somehow get the two gears to mesh, because the bottom line is you want the golf club to come back to square all aligned. Now let me show you something else. I just saw this day when I was looking around for videos I was going to use. Watch this. He makes a mistake here, and I'm surprised at him. Let me see. He goes back here. See if you pick up what he does. Now watch. He goes like this. He's looking where he wants to go. Is he standing behind the ball? No. He should be standing over here behind the ball, have the ball between him and his belly button. Now he's looking at it from the side. Then he gets up here, takes a look, and he goes, uh-oh. Now watch his head. Now watch his head right here. Now watch. Now he looks up even more and he realizes, uh-oh, I'm lined up right. So what should he have done? What he did right here, which is watch. He's going to move again. No, that's not what he should have done. I know he's got a strong grip. What do you want me to do? He changed himself and aimed himself more to the left. He should not have done that. He should have gone back when he realized he had it wrong, stood behind the golf ball, looked at where he wanted to go again, and start all over. Let that be a lesson to you. You see there. I don't know what happened to the shot. He might have hit it perfect right down the middle. I don't know. But he changed his alignment from the side while he was already in position. So bottom line is we're trying to get, well, darn, it doesn't land right on it, but pretty close. The tip of the left shoulder and the ball in a straight line at impact. Whether you have 40 degrees of hip turn or 25 degrees of hip turn or 40 degrees of shoulder turn or 70 degrees of shoulder tilt, you're going to see we could look at 50 different players. They're all going to have something different. See, right here, look at his hands. He doesn't turn his hands over. Why? Because like Frank just said, he's got a real strong grip. He can't turn it over. If he did, he'd hook the crap out of it. See? So everybody's different. Bernhardt doesn't use a lot of lower body. That was the problem I had when I played in Europe. I used a lot of lower body. That's why I had to pay child support in 5 different currencies. Here you go, sweetheart. I had to pay that in marks. I had to pay in pesetas. House Sterling, you name it. It's a joke. Let's look at Nicklaus. They talk about Nicklaus and his legs and everything. Let's see here. Now, what's going to start this down? And I'm going to tell you, I know from Darren talking about it, what he thinks he does. Come on. See, his hips recover. He starts to turn. Look how much he's pulled down that club. That club has moved a lot more than this hip has moved. The hip has just moved from, let me get this there. There's his hip right here, and then these hands are right here. His hands have moved that far, his hips moved that far. So that's why you get the sensation. It says, the Tiger says, the arms win the race. Or Nicklaus saying, I felt like I had to get the club to the ball before the buttons of my shirt got there. It's not true. His buttons of his shirt are practically ready to get to the ball, but they only got that far to go. These guys still have this far to go. So the sensation is that the arms are moving much faster than the hips. It feels that way to me. Although one of my keys at times is I feel like the left cheek of my fanny heads for my right heel. And then sometimes you'll do that for a while and it's working great, and all of a sudden you sort of overdo it a little bit. Now you got to back it off. It's how do I back it off? Do I soften up on the hips, or do I speed up the arms more? This is the constant battle that all really good golfers go through all the time. And I think in a lot of cases, golfers we deal with in teaching, they don't recognize it. The best players in the world are going through these same problems. They think, oh, show me how to turn my hips, and it's fixed. It's not fixed. Nothing's ever fixed. Lucky for me. Otherwise, I'd have to drive Uber. Nothing ever gets fixed. It gets fixed for a while, and then starts to fall apart again, see? So he went a long ways. He went from all the way up here to there, and he only went from here to there. See that he doesn't slide off to the left. Look, he's still almost right on that line. Come on, little ball, to there. He only moved that far in the hips. This is how far his hips went. This is how far his arms went. The same period of time. But they all got there at the same time. Hip and left shoulder to the ball at impact. Let's open up the microphones for questions. Who's got a question? Hello. Mike has a microphone.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Hey, Bob, I do have a question. It looks to me like on Nicklaus that his first move down is returning his left heel to the ground.
Yeah, he does that. Always has. And at times, he probably uses that. I think that's some part of the videos Darren was doing the class on how he feels like he sets himself back on that left heel. But it doesn't mean he transfers a bunch of weight to his left foot. I think that's where a lot of people mess up. They don't realize that, look where his head is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See? But that he has footwork. He dances.
Mm-hmm.
Probably got his lessons from Fred Astaire. Arthur Murray. Only kidding. No, he dances a lot, as the older players did. Billy Casper, Julius Boros, all those guys, they had a lot of foot movement. And the younger players, they got rid of all that.
Mm-hmm.
They thinned it down. I mean, you look at Mark Spitz's numbers, he couldn't win a race today. The kids are so much faster, and their swimming motion is more simple. It's less. Less is more, less is more, less is more. So Nicklaus moves the feet a lot, but that, if you've got it in the rhythm, it's all right. In fact, it can be your rhythm. Trevino was like that too. He moved his feet a lot.
Okay.
But I know this is terrible to say. You want to hear, okay, do this, everything's over. It didn't go that way. You're going to have to toy with your own swing or send it to us if you haven't already, so we can look at it and tell you and say, well, here's what we think. Let's try this. Let's take the shot of the video. Oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. Okay, yeah, that worked. There, we got it. Now how long is that going to work for? Not forever. Because you're trying to get all those parts to work in unison. And going back to Nicklaus's feet, if he has that as part of his rhythm, that helps him get everything working in unison.
Mm-hmm.
These kids today, they put less movement. They swing like maniacs. I mean, I'm going to be interested to see if I live long enough. What a lot of these kids, once they're 45 or 50 years old, they're not going to go play on the senior tour. One, they made too much money in the first place, and the senior tour probably won't even be around anymore. But their backs are going to be so bad because they just went after it. They're killing it. So, you can't do that without swinging real hard. And you look at Freddie Couples, he was probably one of the first ones, and he's had 7 back operations.
Mm-hmm.
So I would. Go ahead.
Are you suggesting the senior tour isn't going to be around because of the coronavirus?
No, I'm thinking it won't be around because I think these younger guys made so much money, they're not going to care. Unless they're just so addicted, they got to keep playing. And they're going to have so much money, they're not going to care. You got to remember, a lot of these guys that play the senior tour, especially when it first started. I'll give you a perfect example. It's Jose Maria Cañizares, you probably never heard of him, but he played on the senior tour here for a while, and I played with him in Europe a lot. And he told me, he said he made more money the first year here in the senior tour than he made in 20 years in Europe. Just on the senior tour, which didn't pay crap compared to the regular tour. To give you an idea. Now the European tour does pay a lot. I mean, I remember playing lots of tournaments. The first prize was $4,000, $5,000. I remember what was it, Sam Snead, when he won the British Open, they told him, you're going to come back to defend it next year. I said, are you kidding? It cost me $1,600 to get here, and the first prize was $600. I ain't coming back.
Most of the things that you hear from professional players, being football, baseball, really doesn't matter. There's a lot of them say that, yeah, the money's important, but it's the adrenaline rush.
Oh, yeah.
Does that adrenaline rush live in professional golf?
Oh, are you kidding? I can tell you.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I can tell you I'll tell you a story. You're not going to believe the story, but it is true. Absolutely true. It was, I can't remember the name of the golf course, but it was in Madrid, Spain. It was a Spanish Open. I was playing with Roberto Bernardini, who was a very well-known Italian player back in those days. He was, famous. And we got to the 17th hole, and the pin was like back to the left, and the green was surrounded by water. See, and I had a 4-iron in my hand. I had a chance to either hit a 5-iron or hit a 4-iron. And I said, listen, I'm there. I was close. I was doing really, really well. And I went, screw this. Give me that 4-iron. So I got the 4-iron and I went right at the stick and boom, I hit it, knocked it about 2 feet, knocked it in for birdie. When I went to the 18th tee, I could have jumped over the trees. I was so fired up. And then it had rained the day before, see? So there were puddles all over the fairways, and they had all these Spaniards out there in boots and stuff to help get your ball for you. And I hit my tee shot and bloop, got taken up by the water. So then I could drop it out, no penalty. But the problem was, compared to all the other rounds I played, I was 40 yards back from where I was. And every day I was reaching this green in 2. It was a par 5. And I was knocking on 2 easy. So my caddy's trying to tell me, you idiot, you're 40 yards further back now because of the water. And I'm saying, no, give me the 3. When I went to grab it, and he grabs it too, and he tries to take it out of my hand. And I'm grabbing it, and we're arguing in Spanish, No, I said, give it to me. And I hit it fat, and the ball went like a knuckleball right into the lake. And then it really hit me. Then I went, uh-oh, I'm stupid. I'm really stupid. So I got so mad, I dropped another ball down and hit it again. I said, I know I can get it there. Hit it in the water again. I made a 9 on the hole. And after I made the 9 on the hole, when I walked up to the green, the weird part was it looked like everybody was staring at me. there wasn't any applause or anything. They were just staring at me. And I walked with the green. And then afterwards, when I went to the score tent to sign my scorecard, my hand was shaking so bad I couldn't sign it. I mean, my hand was shaking so bad I had to just scribble on it. And it was all, you get so fired up. You have to be able to control yourself. I was a rookie, Um, I thought I was in a good shape there. And you can't. You got to learn how to stay calm, deep breaths, and slow yourself down. And I mean, it happens to everybody. But talk to other guys. I told them, look what happened a minute ago. They laughed at me. They said, we all did it. So, I mean, it happens. So, yeah, there's adrenaline rush. And if there's anything that's terrible, it's that you can't really let it out. If you're playing tennis, I guess you can let it out. If you're playing football, you can haul off and knock the snot out of somebody and let it out that way. You can't do anything with golf. You have to somehow stay calm, stay level, like Hogan. He doesn't get excited, doesn't get mad. Doesn't get excited, doesn't get mad. He just stays calm. And I had a hard time learning that, so, which I'm sure you could understand. Cuban blood, you can't help it. They get mad. Seve was that way. We used to say Seve had more airtime on his golf clubs than Iberia Airlines. He could fling them. Woof. He had a real bad temper. So. Any other questions? Or now we'll call it a day.
Hey, Bobby, it's Justin. Quick question.
Go ahead, man.
What do you do if you see yourself beginning to get steep on the downswing?
You're getting steep on the downswing. You're starting with the upper body too much. You've got to, and let me see if I can find that same guy we looked at the other night. No. Well, let's try one just for the heck of it. Let's see what happens. No, that's the actual lesson. You can usually find one over the top pretty easy. Here we go. Come on. Low and inside, ball one. Well, he's coming in now. He's coming in way inside. See how he's crossed line? Look at that. That golf club has crossed the line. It's that way. And the one good thing about cross the line guys, usually, a lot of, especially if they don't know how to play pretty decent, they'll come back down that same thing. The only problem, they got to sort of block the hook, and they got to hit these real roundhouse golf shots that just are hard to keep on the ballpark. Let me see here if I got another one here I can show you. Here's the one we showed the other night. Where did he go? He got some nerve to leave after we made him a star here. Oh, let's see. Well, he's awfully close, isn't he? Of course, so is Furyk. So. Come on. No, he's not really over the top, but watch his head right there. See it go forward? See that? See that? If anything, you want the head coming backwards and up. See, when I come over here and I go over under, watch my head go back. Come on. Up. Now, go back. See, it doesn't go forward. Now it's trying to back up. See, it doesn't go forward. So the only way to get yourself, this is a good drill. If you're worried about being over the top, this is a good drill right here. Oh, wait a minute, Justin. Hold on a second here. Let me see if, where are you? Is it Justin or Dustin? Justin.
It's Justin with a J.
Justin with a J. Justin, what was the Disher, right? Let's see if there's a video there. Let me see. There we go. I'm gonna fix you right on the spot. You're not going over the top by any means.
Mm-mm.
It looks pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the last one you sent me? I said it looks pretty good. There it is here. You got your new foot choice on. They sell those in West Virginia anyway. Here we go. Yeah, you're not going over the top.
It's a good takeaway.
You're not going over the top at all.
Yeah, it's something, you and I have been working on it for 2 years now, but I tend to, if I'm not constantly conscious of it, starting with the arms first, that's what I revert back to is getting steep.
Look at Rieger's right knee compared to your right knee. See? I think if you work that knee a little harder, you might be able to clear this hip a little better so that you don't. Where are you, by the way? Are you in California or where is it? Bogota?
I'm in California now, but that video was taken in Pakistan. I'm a diplomat there.
That's a tennis ball or something. Yeah, work on that right knee a little bit if you can. It looks pretty darn good, Justin. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Yay!
Okay, and so a question about that. When you say you feel like your hands
Go ahead.
when you say you feel like your hands are tied to your knee, is that what you said?
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit more? The feeling that your hands and your right knee are connected.
See the knee and the hands work at the same time. See the right knee. Now that can work for somebody. It worked for me. I mean, but I was taught that as a little kid. So, I had a fresh slate. I had a clean blackboard. Somebody's making noise here. That's who it was.
Bobby, did you say earlier that when the two gears, arms and lower body, are out of sync, then feel as if you're swinging the arms only?
Yes. Shut down. Look, you're going to shut down one of the two gears.
Okay.
And I would grab the ground with my feet, keep my body as still as I can, and swing my arms and take more club. And get my swing tempo and everything rhythm back again to try and get through the day somehow, because I'm just trying not to do so bad that I can't even come back tomorrow and fix it. You're trying not to go backwards too bad.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Oh yeah, we all have. We've all done it. Especially when you're trying to do it for a living, you got to realize, oh, holy crap, if I get too deep in the hole, I'll have to reach up to touch bottom. Tomorrow I'd have to, if I go out here and shoot a 78, I have to shoot 60 tomorrow. So try to alleviate the pain. And sometimes you can get your rhythm back, and you start to swing pretty well. And then you just try and just very slightly let your hips and your knees get back into it again. But you got to shut down one of the two gears. The only one you can shut down is the body, because the golf club's got the arms have a hold of the golf club.
Sure. Yeah.
You got to use them. So the arms, just swing your arms and keep your body real still. Not as a steady diet. I'm just saying if the wheels come off the wagon.
Right.
That's what I suggest.
Yeah. Thanks.
Take more club, swing easy, swing all arms. Get your rhythm back, get the club face back to square again. Remember, if the ball's spraying all over the place, guess whose fault it is? The club face. So you're either doing something to interfere with the club face, which means maybe your hips are moving too fast for your arms, to where it's making it hard for you to square the club face up. So that's why I'm saying shut one of them down and just swing all arms and really concentrate on getting the club face back to square. At least, usually most places, unless there's water in front, if you keep hitting it down the middle, you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Although some people today, they build a golf course with a tree in the middle of the fairway. I always hate that. It's bad enough they got them on the side. You got to put it in the middle of the fairway. What are you, nuts? It's unbelievable. It kills me. And other thing kills me is those split fairways, where you can hit it on the left side of the fairway. Pick a fairway. Don't make two fairways. One's enough. You don't need to make two fairways. That's just me. I don't know. I've never liked that. Then you get into the, am I going to go to the left side of the fairway or the right side of the fairway? Which is better? Just give me one fairway. That's it. I can't think about too many things. Too stupid. So, any other questions? If not, let me see, Mike. Is it a good generalization that your arms are too fast, you pull the ball? No. Usually you pull the ball because your chest is too fast. Your chest is
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Brett Christopoulos. You've been working on my swing a lot lately. Hey, how you doing?
Just finished doing a video for you about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and then part of what you were talking about earlier was getting that left hip clear. And any suggestions of working on getting that left hip clear? Anything I can work on?
Yeah, I was tempted to add this drill right here, and I didn't do it. I don't know why. Because I'm not drinking right now or anything. I should have just had no problem thinking. It's a joke.
I know what you're waiting for.
Here you go, right here. See this? You put the stick in your pants.
Gotcha.
This is from the Golf Machine or something. I've never read the Golf Machine book, but I've heard that's what it's from. I'm exactly the opposite of Darren. Darren has read every stinking golf book there is known to man. He's checked out every conceivable theory. He knows them all. He's really something else. He knows them all. I'm like Sam Snead's still alive. We did everything by feel. You know, Darren can tell you the statistics of how many putts going downhill, the closing ratio on those versus uphill and whatever else. What we just said, it's like if you got a downhill putt for birdie, you say, I want to make birdie, but I want to make par even worse. So you just went with an attitude of being respectful of it, being careful, holding the putter real light. When I'm going downhill, I barely have the putter in my hands. I'm going uphill, I squeeze the putter. So we do more, like if a putt's right to left, I move the ball back on my stance. If the ball's left to right, putt is left to right, I move the ball up in my stance. And those are things that probably the modern day golfer would tell you shouldn't do. But I can tell you, Trevino did it. All those other guys, they did it. Where do you think I got it from? I stole it from everybody else. I didn't make it up. I mean, that's how you do it out there. I roomed with Sevi for about a month, and we'd argue every night. Oh, the right hand. No, the left hand. No, the left shoulder back. No, the right shoulder back. They all feel it different ways. And you can't go chasing rabbits and say, hey, because so-and-so feels it this way and he won this week, I should do that, because then I could screw you completely up. You got to go with what you can do. You just bottom line got to get the golf club back to square and keep hitting shots straight at the hole. Because if you don't get it close to the hole, you can't putt your way to oblivion. I'm telling you, it's impossible. That's why Hogan said, if you want to be a really good putter, get the ball close to the hole. You can only make so many 20-footers. I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. You can only make so many 20-footers. Any other questions? Well, now we'll call it a day.
Hey, Bobby, you got time for an open mic question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a sweeper as opposed to a digger, and I've found that this time of year especially, you have really, really tight lies. A lot of them are actually the ball is on the ground. And with my swing, I either hit it thin or I chunk it a lot until the grass grows up a little higher, and then I can get a good swing on it again. So can you tell me how I can change my swing a little bit to get a good hit on a tight lie with a sweep swing?
Well, you still have those Callaways, or you have a different set now?
It's the Callaways, yeah.
Yeah, because that set of Callaways probably has a little bit of a rounded sole on it, which is not that terribly bad. But if you get, for instance, a set of Adams, they really have a rounded sole on the bottom, and that makes it really hard. What the golf club companies try to sell off as game improvement, which is nothing more than putting more underspin on the ball and getting it to go higher. because most people have trouble getting it up in the air, has its unintended consequences, which is the roundness of the sole on the bottom. That's why I still play with blades. I play with blades not because you can maneuver the ball better, this, that, and the other. I do it because of the short game and because of the tightness of grass. I've got a thinner sole and sharper, and I can get to the golf ball easier than you can with those clubs you have. But then if you told somebody to hit blades, they laugh at you. They say, no, you can't do that. I mean, I can't hit those things. Yeah, you can. So that's one of the problems. If a golf club can do A, and you can say, okay, what is it that it can't do because it can do A? Well, it can hit the ball higher because it's got more lower center of gravity. Yeah, but when you're trying to chip around the green and the grass is real bare, you end up blading it across the green. I say, yeah, because there's a dunce cap on the bottom of that thing. It's rounded. It's a rounded sole. So once the grass grows up, like you said, and the ball's sitting up a little bit, now you can fit that rounded sole underneath the ball. Now, what you can do in the meantime, move the ball back in your stance some. After all that explanation, I could have just told you move the freaking ball back in your stance.
Well, I must be doing something wrong because when I move it back a little bit, the swing is usually worse.
Is it? Because you used to spin out a lot.
Can I interject something?
Go ahead.
I was having that same problem, and I found that if I sat back on my heels a little bit more, in other words, kind of like when you're addressing the ball, kind of like sit down a little further, you get a lot better contact. It's a lot closer to the ground.
Well, I had the problem one day. I went out and I was playing terrible, hitting everything fat, see. And I got home and my wife starts saying, yap, 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 yap. I said, that's it, I had enough. Boom, I popped her right in the jaw. She said, what are you doing hitting me? I said, geez, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can't understand. It's just I've been hitting everything fat today.
Of course you ran then, right?
This was your first wife, right?
Anyway, that's, what you do, take a video of the swing and send it to me, Johnny. Go in your backyard where there's no virus and go ahead and do a couple swings and then send it to me, and then I can go from there.
Okay, thanks.
All right, gang. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Bobby.
Always fun.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.